hours.
Okay.
Ooh, I'm
Everybody
excited.
hold your stocks. The intro's a little bit longer, but just
That's fine.
That is
Plenty of time for
fine.
Brian to get his Google Doc up and running.
Yep.
He's
I'm
ready to go.
already doing formatting. It's great.
Leave Brian alone.
No. It's I was
No,
being
I know.
serious.
I was just joking. I was just joking.
I know.
I was just joking. All right, we ready?
No, we're all good
DJ.
here.
Oh, you hit the button
DJ.
already.
I did. DJ, spin that shit.
Here we go.
I come from the land of the Irish Spring. Dublin's the place where I learned my thing. From the Emerald Isle to your place in the hood. I'm the man of green, come to do no good. Left in the hood, come to do no good. Left in the hood, come to do no good.
Rex, I count 6 shots.
Gussin' at the bando. Jury real metal like a piano. I went from rad to riches to a feature with tip. I went from smart car to a with some smart lips. And that if it need make my hip limp. I'm going fishing with these little bitty strip dips. And my bankroll kinda big dip. Woo. She gon' bring it on a big ship. Quite trail, no quick trip. I got dubs in the alley, no tip. Yeah. She ain't wanna have a good day. Smoke way more weed than the guy in the leg. I hold them birds to next.
Welcome to Films in Black and White, everybody.
Yes.
Left in the hood, and I'm up to no good.
Yeah,
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
St. Patrick's Day.
Hope you had I mean, it's weird it's on a Monday, because if you were like, hey, let's drink a bunch of green beer, I mean, you got to work tomorrow. So hopefully you got your celebrating in ahead of time, because here we are. Hey,
3 days St. Patty's weekend, huh?
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
For some.
Yeah.
A 3-day bender for St. Patrick's Day is what some people are calling it. We have a fantastic episode. We're gluttons for punishment. Okay, we went back into the Sony Spider-Man verse is the best way to put it, and we watched Kraven the Hunter. You know, we are smart because we watched it for free on Netflix, but we still watched it, and your time has a monetary value. So we'll get into that. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
In order to do it well, though, we're going to talk about that. We're going to do Catch That Quotable. We're going to shout out some women for Women's History Month.
Yes,
But first, before we get into all of that, Marcus has a shout out that he wants to do. So, Marcus, how you feeling, sir?
Listen, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. But without further ado, I want to give a very, very, very happy birthday shout out to my guy, Mason Sellers. You know what I mean? Mason.
Happy birthday, Mason.
Happy birthday, Mason.
My guy is in his 20s, living, thriving. He is like, I can't believe he's 20 years old. Doug, if you remember Mason when he first came to South Dakota, and he is grown ass man now, but
he's a grown ass adult now.
He's a grown ass man. So shout out to Mason. Mason, this is for you. I love you, my brother. You are the best brother a guy can ask for. Just the sweetest, kindest guy, biggest heart. Always there for everybody else. Even when people don't show up for you. But I hope that you never change. I love you. I appreciate you always. And happy birthday, Mason. You know what I mean?
Happy birthday, Mason. I hope you have an outstanding day filled with all the things you love. So and cheers to you for joining us on your birthday.
To my little Alicia. Shout out to my little Alicia too. They both share a birthday, my auntie's daughter. So
there you go. Outstanding. How are you doing otherwise, sir?
Good. I'm good. I'm here ready to pod. It was a Monday. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It was like 9 a.m. meeting on a Monday after spring break. Not my favorite.
What are we doing?
Yeah,
somebody hates you. Like
clearly
somebody's like out for vengeance on that day.
It's literally it was like one of those times where he was like, ooh, I don't want to schedule it. It's an email that starts like this. I really don't want to do this, but it's the only time we all got available. It's like, well, fuck. All right. Like, let's get it out the way. But other than that,
okay. They get a pass because to start off with, I really don't want to do this.
Yes.
But it's the only time that works. I can forgive it because we've all been there when you have to schedule with 8 different people.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
and this person typically does not schedule anything even for themselves before 9 a.m. if they could prevent it. So it literally was the only it was bad. It was bad. But we're here. Rough. I'm happy to pod. I don't want to do nothing else but pod with my guys and talk about this shit. Oop. Nah. Listen, I talked to my grandmother this weekend and she says, Mom. I said, yeah, Granny, what's up? She says, Mom, you be cussing up a storm on that podcast. So I said for the first 10 minutes, I won't be cussing. So I'm gonna keep it down.
All right. We got, you know what? We can keep you honest because we have a clock. from when it started to where we're at. So we will keep you as honest as a heart attack. Like we can absolutely do that.
I'm not gonna cuss for the first 10 minutes.
All right, here we go. This is a good test. This is fun.
It's hard.
But Brian Roush, aka O'Connell, how you feeling, sir?
That's me. You know what? I'm feeling great. Happy to be here. It's been a busy day. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little run down before coming on this pod, and then I remembered we got to talk about Kraven, which was one of the most perplexing and just mediocre films I've ever seen, and I cannot wait to talk about it here with these people, with all of you listeners, because this is an experience that needs to be shared. It's truly one of a kind. So if you want to support us, if you want to be part of the decisions that get made on this podcast, you should make sure to join our Patreon. So go to patreon.com/films in black and white. You can help suggest the movies we watch, discuss what these absolute weird movies and weird choices that are made. We will discuss it here on the pod, and you can be part of making those choices. Also, submitting an independent podcast, because we're going to say stuff about Kraven on this podcast that you're not going to get at some of those larger networks or more bigger funded podcasts. We're going to keep it real. It's going to be all genuine, our real thoughts. We have no talking points or friends at Sony. You're going to hear it genuinely.
We have no friends at
Sony. I can promise you we've got zero friends at Sony.
We got zero friends at Sony.
Yeah. Yeah. So make sure to do that. Follow us on our socials as well. We're on Facebook, Films in Black and White, Instagram, Films in Black and White, as well as on TikTok, Films in Black and White. So make sure to follow us if you cannot support us on the Patreon. And we're also on Twitch at Films in Black with the letter N, White. So that is how I'm doing.
Soft N, not a hard N.
Soft N.
It is. Yes. Very
simple. I also want to say, just before we get into the BS, okay, just shout out to etsy.com/shop/ the Love Nerds. Make sure that you go and support the lovenerds.com. It's going to be a lot of tomfoolery when that 90-minute monster kicks in. But in case you don't make it to the 90-minute monster ride, go to the lovenerds.com, because Maggie, we love you despite when we decide to plug the Love Nerds. It's always bad time.
We've said some pretty wild shit and then gone right into and have you met my friend Brian's wife, Maggie? She has stuff that she likes to sell.
Look, that is so kind of everyone to have it at the front bumper. Shout out to my wife, because she also is like a background member sometimes. She's the one that called Foggy Nelson dying before any of us got there. By the way, and I grilled her about that. I was like, no. Like, how did you know? Are you just trying to stuff? She's like, Brian, why else would Foggy pick up the phone outside? And I was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And in her narrative literature mind, she was like, he's dead. He's taking a phone call outside. He's not. Why else would he call? Why else would that person call?
That's impressive. Like, I'm not even mad about it. I'm not even mad.
I'm actually might be a little bit jealous, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
No.
Doug, how are you?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Went up to Minneapolis, just me and the kids. Brittany got to take some time to herself, which was great.
Excellent.
I had been gone the previous week for a whole week, so she had to do all the things, and I could just tell she could use a break. So Thursday afternoon we went up and stayed there. Friday, Saturday, came back Sunday. Got to see my folks, which was really great. Got to be up in Minneapolis, which was great. I did not realize, and this is a fun story about Netflix, that I did not realize that the different tiers of Netflix mean that you get access to different things. So my parents have their own Netflix account. So after everybody went to bed, I was like, I'm going to log in and watch Kraven. Turns out, couldn't do it without upgrading their plan. So according to their Netflix plan, I could not watch Kraven the Hunter on their account. So I had to watch it on my phone.
What tier is cinema? What tier is the first? So you don't get the top releases, or what?
I guess so. I guess so. You don't get the latest releases, and it's with ads. I would be willing to bet. But
that's money. Ooh, how much time I got left? Listen, y'all got 50. Y'all got I don't know how to count. Y'all got about 10 seconds till I can cuss y'all out. Netflix. Y'all got about 10 seconds.
Yeah,
What in the world?
Yeah, so it was kind of wild. So this is I would like to do a tally of like the last 7 months of how many movies that we've had to watch for this podcast that I've watched on a phone or on a plane. Like, because the tally is somewhere it's north of 10. Like,
it's got to be 10. I was thinking 10 actually. I was thinking 10. I think yeah. Let's go ahead and do it right now. So what count the movies off that you've watched on the phone.
So I watched this. What else what did we watch last week?
I'm gonna give you bings. Bing. We watched Daredevil.
Daredevil I watched on a phone because I was traveling. Bing. So I watched that one.
Okay.
I watched the Alien movies, which wasn't for the podcast, but I talked about it.
Talked about them.
Yeah.
How many of those did you watch on the plane?
I watched Covenant and I watched Covenant and I watched Romulus. So that's 2 of them.
What about Red One?
Red One I watched with the kids. I remember that one. I watched that one with the kids at home around Christmas time.
On the phone. No, I'm kidding.
No. What was the first movie we watched? Like for this year? The first big one?
First big one here. Let's see.
Was it Cap?
Yeah, it was Cap.
Okay.
Was it Cap?
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Let's see.
Yeah,
here.
That's right. Because we went from 2 drinks to Brian and Doug and I did a podcast together.
Yeah, we did.
And we didn't really talk about it.
Go check out that title for that podcast, everybody. Then we got Meat Party.
Meat Party.
Let's see here.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I mean,
Sonic 3.
I had seen previously. I took the kids to that.
Okay, Anaconda.
Anaconda. I watched on a TV.
How about Batman Forever?
Probably. I think I watched that one on a phone.
You were at like 6. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So yeah, you're up there, dude.
I mean, like, how about I got 2 more here. How about Equalizer or let's see here.
Spaceman I watched on a phone.
Okay. What about American Psycho?
I had seen that before.
All right. So I mean it's
like we're around like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese's gonna be real mad. Like
y'all.
I mean, I think the biggest crime was Interstellar, and Christopher Nolan
that one was bad.
Into this pod and shame you. Like,
yeah, I did watch Interstellar on a phone.
Yeah,
like,
I do want to. I'm
a part of the problem, you guys.
By the way, and they have this whole screen about lock icons, and they're like, hey, you might see a lock shown on titles in the top 10 shows or movies, and you just have to upgrade on an ad-supported plan. So, like,
there you go.
That's it. Like you have to upgrade. You have to change to an ad-free plan. There's the official language. You have to change to an ad-free plan to unlock everything, which I had no idea was a thing.
Well, I found it out this weekend that it is in fact a thing. So
Jesus Christ,
man,
yeah, money.
I don't like that.
They are some money hungry fucks for sure. Yeah, but here's the thing. I know my parents, Roman. And here's what would happen. I would change it. And then like a month later, they would be like, what the fuck did you do? Like, like it would,
oh my gosh.
It would be like, it wouldn't be nice. Yeah. It would be like, why did you do that? We need you to change it back. Like that's what that would have been. So
it's the curse of like the millennial child going back to their parents' home. It's like, I'll fix this for you. And then it's like, my computer won't stop doing this. And it's like,
now my photos are deleted. Why'd you delete all my photos?
I just downloaded Chrome. I swear. Like, that's all I did.
I cleared your cache on your browser. That's all I did.
Why'd you take all my cache?
Passwords are gone.
Why you
take my passwords are gone?
Why'd you take all my cache?
Like, what? Clearing the cache for boomers who don't know what they're doing, that's devistating.
Yeah, it is devastating.
That's rough shit.
Did I ask you to touch that? No.
No, I did not. Hey, we got a lot to get to. We got Catch That Quotable to get to. But before we do that, I want to make sure that we continue our trend of honoring women's voices for Women's History Month. So I am going to tell you a little bit about Mary Pickford. So Mary Pickford was a starlet in the silver age of movies, so the silent era of movies. And she was somebody who at age 27 started United Artists, which is the film company. United Artists.
Yeah.
That gave her the power to produce and distribute her own movies. So she is a woman at that time frame around 1919. She decided that she was going to start her own agency called United Artists, and she would be able to produce and distribute her own films. She also won an Oscar. She co-founded the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. She was a savvy negotiator who knew her worth. She earned at least $1 million per year as an actor producer between 1919 and her retirement. $1 million in 1919 would be $14 million today if adjusted for inflation.
Jeez.
So cheers to Mary Pickford for being a trailblazer for women in the film industry. So wanted to shout her out. So there's also a really good article I will post in our show notes from Vanity Fair that outlines the most influential women of Hollywood. I don't think it's 100 of them, but they go through like Mary Pickford and Jane Fonda and Oprah Winfrey. So they highlight a lot of different folks. So I will post that in the show notes. That way you all have.
Love that, Doug. Great job, brother.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah,
I love these. Are fun little. I like these little fun facts.
I learned a lot in the process. So I think that's really dope.
As do I. I did not know. Yes, I didn't want to pay for ads. Like it's I don't. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
I mean, I also want to give a shout out here. I mean, like, there's a lot happening here with United Artists. I mean, they like most likely you've seen a United Artists film. Like, I mean, everything from like Bowling for Columbine to Casino Royale. I mean, Hot Tub Time Machine, Cabin in the Woods, Red Dawn, the updated one. So like you have seen a movie from United Artists, and that, I mean, Pickford started that. That's amazing.
Started by a woman. So if you like Hot Tub Time Machine, thank Mary Pickford.
Hot Tub Time Machine too.
What a thank you. I don't know if that's the film I would.
Maybe not a thank you, but
I mean, they were heavily involved with the Bond.
The hat.
Movies.
I don't know.
Let's end on that note. They were heavily involved with the Bond.
How to do? But gentlemen, thank you for indulging me as we highlight a woman's voice. Are you ready? We got to play a little game.
Oh man,
get into Catch That Quotable.
Let's do it.
Catch that quotable.
Silky sounds of Marcus J. See that bigger podcast? This is what inclusion and recognition looks like. Ignore the fact there's only one black man defending himself. Yeah, and just ignore the last 45 minutes of last week. Just ignore the last like 45 minutes of last week.
Boy, man, I would say a lot without saying nothing, but boy, howdy. Let me tell you after the pod.
Jeepers Creepers. Ooh.
Boy, the Brian's silence was deafening. That's all I.
It was the loudest Brian's ever been.
We had some productive conversations. It was great.
Yes, we did.
I don't know if I've ever heard Brian not actually say any words, but I heard a very loud "shut the fuck up." But it was like simultaneous. I don't know what was happening.
Yeah. My favorite is the way Brian politely asked me to shut the fuck up, because he was like, "Dude, what are you doing?" Like, what's that? And it's just like, it's such a Brian way to be like, I'm not going to tell you to shut up because I want you to realize that you need to. So
Look, if you need that person in your life, that is a higher Patreon member tier. It's way more expensive. You have to reach out to us personally, but I will be that guy for you in your life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your life. You could be a teenager, you could be in your 30s, maybe you're retired, and I will show up and be like, what are you doing? And I will provide that self-reflection for you. So that is a service I offer.
As somebody who's benefited from that service for free, man, check my brother out because he's great.
You know what? I love this fucking podcast. That's it. That's it, y'all. Y'all will never really understand as listeners how much I love this fucking podcast. That's it.
Gentlemen, are you ready for this week's quote?
Hit me.
All right, these are two people having a conversation.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Yep. Person one. I like your bracelet, by the way. Do you know what those are? Here, they're warrior beads. They're from Indonesia.
I'm buzzing
Centuries ago. Okay.
I know what this is, but keep reading. I'm sorry.
Okay.
No,
They're warrior beads. They're from Indonesia. Centuries
Brian, you know
ago,
what
you
this
had
is.
to be the best fighter in your village to earn them. Person 2.
You know
wow.
what this is, Brian.
I bought them off of eBay.
You know what this is, Brian.
Okay. Do you want me to read it again? So
Brian, because I cut you off. Yeah, because I cut you off.
Best fighter in your village.
Person number 1.
I bought them off of eBay. It's not Mortal Kombat.
It is not.
All right, one more read. Give us one more read.
Person 1. Well, I like your bracelet, by the way. Do you know what those are? Here, they're warrior beads. They're from Indonesia. Centuries ago, you had to be the best fighter in your village to earn them. Person 2. Wow, I bought them off of eBay.
No, I know what this is.
It's not Balls of Fury or anything, right?
It's not.
No.
Okay. What is it?
Roman said it in the chat that it is a layup. So it's Electra. So
it is Electra. Congratulations.
Yeah. It's Electra.
I had no idea.
As a super fan of the original Daredevil with Ben Affleck and Electra, I remember watching that movie and being like, wow, this is the greatest movie of all time. And then you go back and grow up and be like, oof, this was rough. Like, this was not great.
I would be down for
$90 for the 90-minute monster.
Oh my god.
I gotta be honest. Don't just add this to the list.
Add it to
I
the
never
list.
saw
Yeah,
I never saw
this.
Electra.
No way.
Yes.
Wait, you never saw
Ben Affleck
it?
Daredevil,
I
though,
never
right?
watched it.
All right, it's on the list.
You saw
right,
Ben Affleck Daredevil, though, right?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Okay.
Both the regular cut and the director's cut.
That Electra in that era feels like, with all respect, it just feels like they were trying to make that jointed universe way too early. It was just way too early. Like they tried to roll off of what Daredevil did, and even hinted that she was still alive because that was how they kind of ended Daredevil, and then they rolled right into Electra, knowingly so, because I forget her name. What's her name?
I almost said
Jennifer Garner.
Jennifer Garner. Thank you. It was like I almost said Jessica Biel. Jennifer Garner.
I almost said Sarah Jessica Parker. So we are none of us were correct. So Brian, thanks for bailing me out.
Happy Women's History Month.
Happy Women's History Month. All you white ladies look the same.
Yep, that's right. Not to undermine your accomplishments, but
we were really trying.
Two of us could interchange you.
Look, I've been a big fan of Jennifer Garner since Alias, so I had this locked in. I was very excited for this movie, and I don't know. It was so. Here's the thing, Fox, and this goes into a little bit of detail in the Behind the MCU book, but like at that time, nobody thought a female-led superhero movie was going to make it, so it didn't get supported. So it didn't get any of the same resources like X-Men or Daredevil or Fantastic Four did. So it was just like Jennifer Garner out here fighting for her life for one of the first like female-led movies, superhero movies. She did reprise.
She sure did, Roman.
Yes, 2005.
Jennifer Garner came back for Deadpool and Wolverine. And my favorite thing about that is there's like a behind the scenes featurette, and she was like, Ryan Reynolds reached out to me and said, we need to give this character closure. And I said, oh, she was like, I didn't know we needed.
I didn't think we needed to give it closure.
Which makes it even better.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
Electra came out after Fantastic Four, just for real quick.
That's helpful.
So the year is 2005. You get Batman Begins. In June 15th, Fantastic Four July 8th, Sky High July 29th, for those that are familiar. Then Electra comes in January 14th, 2005, and then The Incredibles November the 5th, and then Blade Trinity December the 8th. So
is that all in like 18 months?
This was hold on, I'll pull it up real quick. I know we got other things to do.
Buckets.
But it gives you wild. This also talks about the box office too as well, and how much they grossed the box office. So,
God,
it's nuts. This is actually
what happened.
I was still in high school when Electra came out.
I wasn't even in high school. Jesus Christ. Batman Begins June 15th. Total gross was 200. Oh, yep.
203 million.
Yeah, 205.
205?
205? Sorry, I can't read.
205 million. 205 million. Fantastic Four was 154 million. Sorry, I can't read.
No, it's okay.
I can't read.
I couldn't look at the screen. All I heard was, sorry, I can't read.
My
optometrist in black and white is one or two better.
My Catholicism. Why did The Incredibles only gross 9? What in the fuck? That don't feel right.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah,
that
I think
don't feel right.
That's something off there, but
I don't like
but
it.
no, like it was X-Men. Like X-Men and Spider-Man kicked this off.
Yep.
So this was kind of like a throw stuff at the wall situation.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Well, speaking of throwing stuff at the wall.
What a great transition.
Thanks for laying me up, Brian.
Downtown.
He's on fire.
Let's go ahead. Boom shakalaka.
I love how the spoiler alert came after boom shakalaka.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna clip that part of the video. Boom shakalaka.
I thought you were gonna go boom goes the dynamite.
Let's talk about
Let's hit it.
Kraven the Hunter.
Okay.
It's a movie that came out
It is a movie.
a year ago, less than about. Couldn't tell you when this came out.
It came out in December. This came out less than 6 months ago.
It came out in December, and it was the last of the Sony verse Spider-Man-esque, Spider-Man adjacent movies.
Yep.
Would someone care to give us a barbershop synopsis for Kraven the Hunter?
Brian, do you want it?
You know what? I'll dive in. I'll dive in with your blessing, Marcus.
Bless on, brother. Bless on.
All right. I don't know, man. There's this guy and he's like killing dudes, and then there's a flashback and he's a kid and his mom died and it's really sad, but then his dad's like, hey, let's go kill animals to feel better. And then like there's a girl on this safari, and then this lion attacks this guy, the Kraven guy, and then he gets mauled essentially. And then the little girl's like, hey, I have this like ancient potion thing that I don't really understand, but I'm gonna give it to you. And then I think he's fine. And then I don't fully understand where it goes from there. Then he cravens all over the place. And his dad is upset with him. And then the rhino's like not the rhino, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna get the Kraven people. And then he does get one of them, and then Kraven's like, I'll get you. And then he does get him. And then that's it, pretty much. I think.
Brian, that's incredible.
I don't know.
Incredible. And also oddly accurate. Like, oddly accurate.
To be fair, I don't think you missed a beat at all.
I don't think you missed a lot. Let's run down cast, shall we? Yes, we do remember.
Wow.
And quickly left.
We did that maybe twice and went, ooh, not again.
Okay.
So, Aaron Taylor Johnson plays Sergei Kravenov, aka Kraven the Hunter. Ariana DeBose plays Calypso Izili. Fred Heckinger plays Dmitry Kravenov. Alessandro Nivola plays Alexei Sitsevich. Christopher Abbott plays the Foreigner. That's just who it is. It's just called the Foreigner. And then Russell Crowe plays Nikolai Kravenov. And Yuri, I'm gonna mess that one up. Klokokinov plays Seaman Chorney. That's it. That's like, it's like 5 people like who are in this movie. And then this is a movie of mostly goons and thugs, and then like 6 other dudes. It's like how the movie actually goes. In terms of box office, this one did not do well. Kraven grossed $25 million domestically, $36 million internationally, coming to a total of $61 million worldwide. Its budget was $110 million.
This movie cost over $100 million to make.
It most surely did. It most surely did. Gentlemen, let's talk about Kraven. Where should we start? I took notes and I'm happy to jump in. Now, I took notes because I was in Minneapolis, so I had a THC seltzer while I watched this. And I was
legal.
Very worried. I was legal. I was very worried I was not going to remember this movie. So I took diligent notes.
Yeah. I feel like I can really go by what pissed me off the most.
Yeah,
and
do it.
I think we should.
It's just it's something so minute and so small, but it pissed me off. And it was the way that they told the story. And it was like you spent a third of the movie developing up these two brothers and like the Kraven brothers and what they were under their father. And then your transition into their adulthood and the rest of the movie, it just is so fucking choppy. It's just really just cut and thrown together of like, that might have been a good story because you had two good young versions of yourselves that were casted. I was like, I would watch a series of this because they seem to have a good relationship with each other of a rough father that is like menacing as fuck, doesn't give a fuck about nothing. And then the way it's kind of jolting. I'm not even like being extra. It's jolting how bad it like just cuts and snaps a fucking movie together after that part.
Yeah, I wrote down these are short vignettes that are brought on seemingly at random, having nothing to tie them together. It goes from, and even the flashbacks are not. There's no smooth in, smooth out.
No.
He's there. Flashback. Oh, back to the present. Like it's very like Marcus. It's jarring, and you get a bit of whiplash. It also creates these incredible plot holes that are kind of like odd. Here's a great one. Ariana DeBose is doing the Lord's work in this movie. Like she is
to talk about her later.
Acting so well and doing so much with what she was given. But they didn't even explain. So she gets, this is towards the end of the movie. But that's just a good example. At the end of the movie, she is at Kraven's like bubble hideout in the woods. And she is wearing a white shirt, khaki pants, and sort of like a white, like cami top.
Yeah.
Then Kraven takes a phone call. And she's nowhere to be found, like not even in the house. You can see everything from where he's standing, but she is just like hiding under a box. Like I don't know what she's doing. And then they cut to like when the rhino bombs the woods when Kraven's running through it, and she steps out in a full leather dress with no explanation of how they got there.
Oh, she did.
No explanation of where that dress came from. My note was there's another cut of this movie where the lawyer and Kraven get it on in his hideout. See random dress change. There is a cut of this movie where he goes, "My mother wore this dress. You can have it." Like that is there's a cut of
when
this
he had the accent on. That's
important. When he had the accent,
he has it on.
Brian.
The accents in this movie are insane.
Don't you forget. Don't forget that part because I just went. So I'm going to let somebody else go. But don't forget that part.
But yes, but Marcus, you're right. They are jarring. And even the people who made it were like, I don't know, fuck it. Put it in a new dress. No one's paying attention.
It's so clear that this movie got chopped up by committee. Like, a direct line from Madam Web to this movie. That it's so clear that there is a group of people at Sony that's like the discount version of the Marvel Parliament of like, they were like, hey, Marvel has a whole group of story people and they make decisions together. So there's no plot holes. And like someone genuinely had this idea. And then like one of the execs was like, can we just like hang out and do drugs and then like money launder and talk about the movies? And they're like, I mean, I guess we just need to talk about all these details. And then somehow they're making decisions for like the entire Sonyverse, the discount Marvel Parliament, as it were. Thank you, Roman, in the chat.
AKA right there.
That's the great value.
That's what it feels like. Because
value Marvel.
Discount. Yes. And I just, here's my main point. I promise. My main point with this is like the flashback, usually in a movie like this, you want to keep the audience like, we need to keep you interested. We just showed you this prison fight scene. Usually you would have a format where like the flashbacks would happen like 2 or 3 minutes at a time. So you're like, oh, okay. It's, it takes me back and it kind of takes me out, but like you need the context to move the movie along or whatever. That's what most people would probably do. Somewhere along the way, somebody's like, no, just put like a 30-minute short in here about Kraven and then go back to the movie. You can start this movie at the 30-minute mark and you're fine.
Dead ass. Ass.
100%. Yep. And
Dead
this is
ass.
not a lot. I mean, it's not like it's not obnoxiously long.
No.
Like it's a tight 2 hours and 4 minutes. But yeah, Brian, they could have cut 30 of those minutes.
Because they kick it off with him is in the prison, right? Doing the prison scene. That's what they started off with, right? He goes through that scene, spoiler alert, of course. He killed. So Kraven's whole thing of apparently based off of what his mother told him was like, don't be anything like your father, right? And his father is this dude that's just like, your mom died, like Brian nailed it. Your mom died, let's go shoot this deer. You are never to be afraid. You
Marcus,
are always
it's not a deer.
People.
It's your mom died. We're gonna go fucking hunt a lion.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
No one is emotionally prepared for a lion. His mother died.
First of all, he's fucked up because he said your mother, she herself and she was weak. And I was like, God damn, like, come on, Russell Crowe.
Like, it's not weak. This lion that we're gonna go kill.
Why does it feel like Russell Crowe's the only one who wants to be in this movie?
Oh God, yes.
He took his role extra serious.
Absolutely.
And cheers to Russell Crowe for that. I mean,
look, I appreciate the commitment. Absolutely. But it is one of these things when I feel like a detective and I'm looking at all the evidence and it's like, why is this the only person that wants to be here? What is happening? And I can't tell you why.
Can I also just say, I'm sorry. Listen, this movie is so fucked up because it does a couple things that I think could have worked if you did it right.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought that the most fucked up part was this idea that his son faced the biggest fucking lion in the jungle. Yeah. And his ass, don't ask me why it made me laugh and go, oh my God. But his son got drugged by the biggest lion while in the lion's mouth by the shoulder, got drugged up and down a damn safari. And that was the scene. And the first thing his dad says is, why didn't you shoot the lion? I was like, God damn. What the fuck? God, why didn't you shoot? He's coming with me. Huh? He just got drugged up and down the goddamn safari.
Yeah. That's a great question. It's the harshness of like the way some of this shit worked is insane. And they kept going back to this like masculine nonsense of like, I need to be strong.
Yes.
Everybody said that at some point in time.
Yeah. Like it's on the tarot card he gets. It's so dumb. It's so dumb and transparent and two-dimensional. I feel like I'm in 2003. It's so dumb. The tarot card, I hate it.
Yeah. Someone's gonna get strength, but something bad's gonna happen. Like, thanks. Thank you for that. Like,
so dumb.
Thanks for spelling it out for me. Yikes. Brian's broken.
It's special. It's a special film.
Brian, can we talk about the accents though for a second? Because
of course you can talk about the accent.
I want to talk about Rhino's accent for
what was
a long time. I want to talk about it. Here's the thing. I don't know. Like, I don't know what his accent was. My note that I wrote while I was watching this was, what is Rhino's accent?
Hang on, Doug. I'm coming back. But Marcus is pulling up an image, and it's a scene it's an image from the film with captions. I actually still carry the deck with me. Marcus, you want to talk to us about this?
This is the dumbest shit in the fucking world. Because, back to Brian's point, Calypso is an essential point to Kraven's story. Okay, and shout out to this lone black woman carrying this whole fucking
seriously
by herself. Right. So grandma gave her a random deck when she was younger because grandma can feel it. Right. Okay. I'm from Louisiana. I know what that means. Okay. You know what I mean? She got the power. Okay. So she put it in the deck of cards, but also gave her a random liquid that this is also, I guess, important to the plot, but they never really expressed why it was
at the beginning and at the end.
And at the very end.
And at the very end, and that's it. Otherwise, the middle,
never touched it.
Shit.
Nobody gave a flying. He was like, I've been looking for you this entire time because not to say thank you for saving my fucking life.
Like, hey, you got any more of that liquid?
Hey, you got any more of that secret sauce on you? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? So they gave her these tarot cards. Addict. Like he searched her down and then killed somebody for her to say thank you, I guess, and like you could trust me by killing somebody who killed her friend. But he had this was the card that he saved when he got mauled, and she saved him. And she was like, I actually still carry the deck with me to this day. I just think it's stupid. I just think it's dumb.
It is. No, it is. And to your, it's as dumb as the accents, Doug, right?
Yes, it is, because Rhino's accent is both simultaneously Russian and Italian at the same time. And it makes me so mad. Like, I can't place him at all.
Perfect.
No.
That's perfect.
It's not a Russian accent, but it's also not an Italian accent. And he just switches back and forth. He has a moment in this movie where he smiles and says something like, is it though? Like he says it like something like that. And I rewound and watched it 4 times because I went, I don't know what that accent is. Man. So yeah, and then Brian, to your point, Aaron Taylor Johnson just switches it on and off.
I don't know.
There are times where he says weird shit like I hunt people. That is not creative effect. That is a line of dialogue from this movie. But he says it like me. I hunt people. And then he'll switch and be like, Dostoevsky. Like he'll just like switch and like go right into Russian like for some random reason.
Oh,
like,
that's right.
He does
all the time. He is switching that shit back and forth. Like he can't pick. When he's talking to the lawyer, he's an American accent. When he's talking to his brothers, he's like, let's drink vodka outside. Like it just doesn't make any sense.
And I wonder if like they did different takes of like no accent, and then like they got to the end and they're like, nobody cares, and they just took the best one. Like
Aaron Taylor Johnson mad as fuck because he took time to like actually learn and
right. Well, and it's like this weird. It's not Russian, but they want you to feel like it's Russian, but it's like Eastern European, but it's not. Like it doesn't sound. I don't know. It just that's the other part that infuriates about this movie is like it's so scared to give you any significant detail unless it's related to like any of like name of a character. Like in all seriousness, unless it's a name of a character, you're gonna get that shoved in your face. Most likely. And it's I don't know how to say it anywhere else. I don't know. The accents, the names, it's so nondescript.
It's so nondescript.
I think they tried to pull like a Natasha Romanoff, like she had the Russian accent for like they kind of coined it as like she spoke so many different languages, but she never spoke Russian again. Like never. Like I don't think there was another movie where she did it, and they just kind of gave up on it halfway through this.
Here's the smart thing that Marvel did was they were like, yeah, I'm Russian, but like that was a long time ago. Anyway, here's my American accent.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't hesitate to explain how they didn't expect. Here's the thing they did with the exposition. Sorry, this movie has me like tripped up verbally. This movie was like, I'm going to tell you how I'm feeling, but I'm not going to tell you what's going on. Like, I'm just really, hey, buddy, I'm just really conflicted because I feel like I should be there for you, but I'm not. But no exposition as to like, hey, I'm not Russian anymore. I've been living all over the place. My accent, I'm able to switch because of all the places I've gone. But I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel every single emotion instead of acting it out. It's just so backwards.
I agree.
And then Russell Crowe slides in. He's like, because you're weak. You need to be strong. Like,
and I want to be in this movie because there might be another one. It's just, or you die at the end. I can come back.
Which I was not expecting either. I don't know why I wasn't expecting that, but like having a bear fucking maul your dad felt like, oh, okay, like that's interesting. That's an interesting choice.
It felt like a second end to the movie. Like, It was it was entertaining. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was very entertaining, and it was shot very well. I will say the cinematography of that scene I enjoyed.
I will say that Brian, to your point, the fight scenes very well shot.
The cinematography in this movie is actually very good, which then makes me mad because the cinematographer is putting in all this work to hear Kraven the Hunter go, "I hunt people." Like,
no, that's not enough pause. I hunt people.
Like for the rhino to be like, I can't even do the accent. It's so bad. I can't
because nobody knows what it is. Brian,
It's
you
like-
could do an Italian accent and a Russian accent. We would be like, you got it. Like, that's the beauty of the movie.
And, like, it's beautiful. There's these safari landscapes. There's these beautiful shots of London. And then you have Ariana DeBose like deliver a line like, I still keep that deck of cards. Anyway, it's maddening.
It's insanity.
It's truly maddening. Can we talk about the dialogue for 1 second?
We can.
This movie made me realize I could write a script. I could write a movie script.
Brian.
And I'm usually not this hard personally on some of the people for these movies. But I need to recite a line that was in this movie that I didn't believe was in there, that I went back and checked after I read about it online. And I was like, no, people are being just exquisitely too hard on this movie. There's no way. No, I went back and there is a sequence, listeners and viewers, where Kraven and Ariana DeBose are having a conversation. And he's like, I need more. I can't do it. I need more of this potion you gave me. And he kind of waves it at her and they're talking about how it came to be. And they get to a point in the conversation where she mentions her grandma dies. That's where she got it, right? And he's like, well, do you have any more? She goes, quote, she died not long after that trip and I never saw her again. One more time. She died not long after that trip and I never saw her again.
I would pray to God you didn't.
Well, one would hope.
Typically, after people die, you don't see them.
Jesus Christ!
That they're back. Those lines are backwards. I never saw her again. She died shortly after that trip.
I'm gonna risk
the
it.
line.
I'm gonna risk it because it matters to me. This is the scene, and it is at the 1 minute 33.
See, this is the outfit she shows up to the house in.
I'm risking it right now, but I think it's worth it to realize for our viewers this is a real thing Ariana DeBose said in a real movie,
and I never
Oscar
saw it.
award winner.
Negative.
It's like I went to McDonald's, but I didn't order food after that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you ordered at McDonald's. Why would you?
Yeah.
Brian, there's also insane shit otherwise dialogue that's like that. So couple that like just poorly written backwards dialogue
absolutely
to other moments in this movie that are just so out there that have dialogue in them. Like there is a scene where Kraven has a completely disassociative flashback and he's staring like this into the camera and he goes, I should have been there for him. Who the fuck are you talking to and about? Like, I went, what did I write? What the fuck was that flashback? I should have been there for him. Like, it's insanity. You've never, ever had that emotional response to anything in this movie. And now when you're alone, and granted, you're painted as this like lone wolf who can do anything, this like expert assassin, and you have this complete what looks like drug-induced moment. I should have been there for him. Like what is happening?
I feel like that let me slide this in there real quick. The CGI is fucking god awful. Okay. I think that the CGI had so many points in there where the CGI was just like the blood, the mix of like it didn't mesh. Like the CGI was not good at all. Like they didn't want to go back and refine it. They were just like, fuck it. Like just send the movie out. We don't have time. Outside of that, I think that the way that they tried to depict all these characters was so rough. Like it was like he cared about Dimitri. I like the fact that he cared about Dimitri. Immediately, once Dimitri is saved and gets on, Dimitri says, "I will never turn my back on my family. I'm going to be loyal." And then immediately he takes over his father's business and becomes disloyal to his fucking brother.
Yep.
I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And that is what contributes to what Doug was talking about, how this is like a series of vignettes. It feels, gosh, I'm being hard on this movie. It really does feel like somebody made like a YouTube playlist of these clips. And it's like, watch these sizzle reels or whatever, because it's so clearly trying to do the MCU thing of like, I'm the chameleon now. You know me from Spider-Man. And it's like, there's no payoff. There's no setup. This movie has such a hard time with setup and payoff. Absolutely atrocious. Because like it's never like you see him blending in. He just has a line of dialogue like, they say I blend in. It's like you never see it. Okay. Go ahead.
They have a couple dialogues where they try to say he's a singer. And he's a singer, and they say he's so good at mocking his dad, which I was like, okay, cool. I guess like, and they say he's a chameleon. He's like a chameleon. He can mimic anybody. I heard that setup. I don't think it was worth us showing a full flat ass chameleon face in the end of the movie. Like that felt like a teaser scene that was added. I don't know what the fuck was going on.
Also, it just sort of I'm sure that this is a comic character that I have yet to be introduced to yet, but both Chameleon and Rhino refer to this mysterious man in New York who they went to go see, who helped them like solve their problems. But there's just not enough flush out for us to know why that matters. And it's just sort of tossed in.
So that's the other thing I get upset about here is that they talk about Miles Warren, who is the Jackal. And if you're not familiar, the Jackal is a Spider-Man villain who messes with the game. He's been responsible for some of your favorite clones and Spider Island as well. He is he's related to, he has an obsession, I think, with Gwen Stacy, or he's related. I cannot, it's comics. There's a connection there. So like to use this character as connective tissue is so weird because nobody knows him. Like it's not like it's kind of like this 4th, 5th tier villain, which is great for like comic book nerds, but like you name drop. This movie does a great job with names, right? He's like, I've seen Miles Warren, and then they mention it again, and you're like, I don't know who that is, and he's never been on screen.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Oh, Warren had a crush on Gwen Stacy. Oh, cool. All right.
Spider-Man.
Great. Yeah. Spider-Man. Great. Cool. All right. Yeah. So that happened. Anyway,
bullshit.
That's your connective tissue character. It just feels, oh my gosh. It feels like they picked names out of a book to try to get you hyped.
And Brian, that brings me to like the point that I think bugs me. Not the most, but I think it's just the part of this that it's like they had so much material, like Sony owns a lot of these characters and can easily go to the reference material and say, how do I use some of these things that are quintessential Kraven storylines, right? And how can I develop them into a movie that is 2 hours long? God. And you could have done anything. Like there are so much material you could have pulled from, but instead you were like, we know better. Let's just write our own story. Like, so in the original source comic book material, and again, I don't want to be that guy that's like, well, in the comics, like I do not want to, I try so hard not to be that like, well, actually, Sergei Kravinoff, his family are not mobsters. They're aristocrats. And they got out of Russia and moved to the United States to escape the February Revolution and the collapse of Tsar Nicholas II.
Wait, really?
Yes. Then he is a big game hunter who like decides that Spider-Man is the greatest person to hunt in the world. But unlike hunters, he prefers to kill people or kill his prey with his bare hands. So the fact that Kraven is running around using weapons and even has a drop down of a crossbow is insane to me. However, the mystical serum and his obsession and his lover, in the comics books, Calypso is a voodoo priestess who he falls in love with. But yeah, the mystical serum gives him enhanced strength and slows the aging process. That is the only piece of this that is comic book accurate.
So they gave him the animal powers through the Calypso and the lion dragging his ass up and down the damn safari.
Yes, but that's
what about the fear of spiders? Anybody notice that?
I mean, that was
like it's a Spider-Man kind of movie. I don't know, make him scared of spiders. Right. I don't know.
It felt very Madam Web. So that's what it felt like. It felt very Madam Web to be like, oh, there's spiders everywhere, and like,
okay.
Yeah.
There's just a guy in like a Spider-Man stick outfit, like
Vine Spider-Man. Vine Spider-Man shows up. Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing that I kept coming back to in my notes. I kept saying, just give the villain a Spider-Man origin story and call it good.
Yeah.
He gets bitten by an animal, gets animal powers, fights bad guys. That's all that they wanted to do. Hold on. There's another one that I want to say. Oh, Kraven dresses like an ex-cop turned fitness influencer. I wrote that down.
Bucket. Oh my god.
What the fuck?
No.
Specific.
No.
That was a high. That was a high thought.
No, he's right. You're right, Doug. You're absolutely right.
Brian, he shows up and rolls up in tactical pants, boots, and a red muscle shirt tucked into his tactical pants with a ridiculous belt. And he looks like somebody who says, like, I don't know where I was January 6th. Why do you ask? Like, that is exactly what he's telling people.
I just like going to the school board meetings, make sure everything's okay.
Before I was dishonorably discharged from the military, I just like to fucking get after it. Like I did not. So that's really like why I like to push myself by doing burpees in the 110-15 degree heat and squat thrusts on the pavement. What the fuck?
No, it's pronounced. Right? It's pronounced QAnon. Oh no.
Wow. No, I said, why does Kraven have animal powers? Like, I know the plot reason. I just still don't know why it was done. That was a note I wrote down. Like, I get why they did it.
Yeah.
But it bugs the fuck out of me. Especially in that scene where he's fighting those people in the house and he emerges from the darkness and he's got lion eyes.
Yeah.
Cool sequence. But I just hated the whole, like, the fight scene was cool. It was just like, it kept going back to like, I kept expecting him to be like Falcon and he like turned into a Falcon. Like I kept expecting him to turn into something.
Well, I think that goes back to the jump cut for me because when he gets his power as a kid and he realizes the power that he has, it's an immediate jump cut to him being like, okay, now I guess he just made this decision immediately. I'm going to go take out other people or billionaires or run with the animal. Like there was no soft transition. It just went from this runaway kid who got fucking drug up and down the damn safari by a lion and gave him a magic potion randomly by the one random black person in the entire look, that's not
in all of Africa.
I had to go back because that's not true.
The one mystical black person in all of Africa.
We only saw 2 black people in this entire movie, and it's based on the continent of Africa.
By the way, you would think all Russians relocated to Africa.
You would.
You would shot full of Russians.
You would
not a lot of Africans.
You would absolutely think that. So I just thought that transition was very. I also hated the way that they used the word legend as the motivation for the father. Why does the father act the way that he wants to be? Because I want to be the greatest legend. In order to be a legend, you got to kill a legend. I hated that. Despised it.
And you want to beat the man. If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. Like that's
and
some Ric Flair shit.
You never see him do anything criminal, by the way.
No.
Like, you don't know why he's so bad. Like, sure, he's a bad father. I get that immediately, Russell Crowe. But, like, there's no context for, like, any of the crime he's doing.
No.
And it's just, like, trust us, he's a crime lord. It's the strangest don't show I've seen in a movie in a while.
Because it's the one line that they say between between Kraven and his dad, and he says, "You know what I do for a living?" And his son's like, "Yes." And he says, "You're done." And then the mom says, "Don't be a bad guy like your father." You can infer what this dude does for a fucking living, but they piece it together rough as hell.
And Marcus, do you want to know what I immediately thought of when I saw that sequence? Was when you talked about Madam Web. And I don't even remember his name, but the villain in Madam Web being like, "They're going to take my empire."
Yep.
Almost the same vibe.
You're right.
And
You're right.
It's weird.
It felt like they wrote this like an audiobook to me, because it was like because I genuinely feel like I could put my head down into my laptop while the movie was playing, and the dialogue was the only thing. It's so simple.
Yeah.
Like really I'm meant to follow it without actually looking at what I'm looking at. And I guess that gives you a little bit of freedom for people to be like, well, it wasn't that. I don't think the movie was that bad. Well, were you watching it, or were you just halfway like doing something else while it was on?
Yeah. Yeah. No, you make a great point, Marcus. Like this absolutely tells you said it perfectly. It is an audiobook, and I can confirm my wife was on her phone for most of the movie, and she picked up details I missed. I will admit I missed some details because full disclosure,
easy to do.
I wasn't doing this sober. I'm just gonna full disclosure. I was 3 beers in at least minimum. And
sober boys.
I missed the detail that the reservation was his mother's. Yeah. And so at the end of the movie, I think there's a line, and I was like, "Oh, the reservation was his mother's," without missing a beat. Maggie's playing a game on her phone. She's like, "Yep, that's what he found in the letter when he was about to run away in the desk." And I was like, "Oh man, like she's not even paying attention and got all of that." Like,
his mom,
Brian,
my mom left the only thing for me.
I just learned that.
No way.
Did you really?
I missed it too, Brian. I have no idea what you're talking about. I was like, what fucking letter are they talking about? And I was like, oh shit.
Well, it's a good thing we talked about that.
Yeah,
all the more reasons for you to go to the Love Nerds. That's TheLoveNerds.com.
There it is.
Maggie knows what she's talking about.
I have 2 things I want to talk about.
Go ahead.
One, when we talk about Glasses Guy, like
the foreigner.
Yeah,
I don't understand what his power.
Like,
what was his power?
Deal?
I know he's a comic book character, I guess, but
I wrote, I don't think I get what 1, 2, 3 powers guy is all about. Like,
also the exposition of his name, they call me the foreigner because I'm not from around here. Like, what the fuck?
No one else. This movie takes place in Africa and is it about a bunch of Russians. No one's from around
Same
here.
writer that said my grandmother died and I didn't see her after that. You know, this is what we're working with here. Like, it's like if Spider-Man was like, that's why they call me Spider-Man, because I have spider powers. Like,
because I'm a spider, man.
How brain dead is this? Like, a lot or a little?
It's not man spider, it's Spider-Man.
I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. What the fuck?
Same energy. Weirdly same energy.
Execution. Punctuation.
Robin brings up a great point. What's he called when he is where he's from?
What is he called when he is where he is?
Rick? Like, who knows?
These are the deep questions you can expect on this podcast and why you should subscribe to our Patreon. But no, the foreigner is giving me X-Men Origins Wolverine vibes of like, here's this character that does cool stuff that will show up for 3 scenes and peace out.
Like, is he's super fast, right? Like, that's the whole thing where he's going 1, 2, 3.
That's what I
very
thought.
fast. I got, because at the end he's fighting Kraven and he's really, really quick. And I'm like, okay, I can see the speed thing, but I also didn't know if it was like mind control. I had no idea because I couldn't tell if he was talking to himself or talking to somebody else.
I thought his power was he looked at you and he counted, because he was putting you in like a trance. Like, so he's like, hey.
I didn't take that as that, but I could see that too.
I got it as 1, 2, 3, you're dead. Like,
wait, and did you think his power was counting and then like he moved?
I thought it was speed. I thought it was like by
1,
the time
2,
he counts,
3, gotta go fast.
Brian, basically, yes.
So
that's what I thought
his Sonic was. You basically thought he was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes,
what I'm hearing.
Yes, that is what I thought.
having a superpower where you got to count first is some bullshit. 1, I'm pulling the trigger. Pow! Got your stupid ass.
Yeah, Cap just throws a shield at your face. You're done.
1, 2, 3. Gotcha.
So
like that's
Google says he is stronger, faster, more agile, and has better reaction time than any Olympic athlete. But this is not what they. That's not what they did in this movie. So
that's not how they visualized it.
And the hand-to-hand combat was kind of ass too. So like I didn't understand that either. But
but then there was like an effect. Okay, stay with me. There was like an effect where he was moving fast, but it was impossible for him to be over there. So I assumed there was like some timey-wimey.
I could have seen that too. Yes.
Yeah.
But again, this movie doesn't show you anything. It just tells you 1, 2, 3.
1 I'm fast. Gotta go fast.
3.
Gotta
go.
Gotta go.
I'm so glad that he can count to 3.
People.
This movie, it's not fantastic. And I think it's kind of a waste of Aaron Taylor Johnson's time of all people, right? And like he's not the only one. I genuinely think they went in here with the idea to have a good project, but that's just like every other Sony project, which was like part of what we didn't get a chance to, Doug, was like going through the other 6 projects. Did you want to do that?
Yeah, let's go ahead. I mean, yeah, we can absolutely go through it. I mean,
can we
think? Go ahead, Brian.
Just real quick.
Oh yeah, no, we can keep going.
I just want to shout out Ariana DeBose because we mentioned it at the beginning, and I do want to deliver. Like she's gonna watch, but whatever. I don't care. She's giving it her all. You can tell she's genuinely invested in this movie, which kind of makes it even harder to watch at times. But like, she's doing exactly what she needs to do. And Aaron Taylor Johnson does kind of feel like he's trying to make an audition tape for James Bond. I don't know, but like, it like Ariana DeBose is doing the job. She's a professional, and I wish her better projects because she's very talented.
Me too.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we acknowledge her.
I agree. She's great. There was only one thing that happened with her that I didn't understand, but it's not her fault. She says she got
they made her a lawyer.
They said she got her law degree in the United States, but she lives in Europe and has a UK law degree.
Yeah.
And I apparently was very upset about this when I was high because I wrote, you were a law student in the US, but now run a law firm in the UK? Absolutely fucking not. There isn't enough time for that to happen.
And this is like the writing
gets really upset about rules.
You don't need
you breaking them.
You don't need to tell the audience where she went to law school.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. She's a lawyer, so like people can fill that in.
Yeah,
it's so strange.
But she didn't have to be a lawyer. So like,
no,
the comic accuracy is off. So that's number one. But then you also talk about like why he was looking for her to be able to find people to put on this hit list, and that was why it was so important. Instead of being like, oh, well, 1, I'm looking for your magic potion, or 1, you saved my fucking life. I've been looking for you my entire life because I don't know how I got these powers. He just was like, I need your secret juice. And with zero exposition, with no explaining.
You're gonna have to take me on a date first, sir.
And were they were they supposed to be romanticized?
I mean, if we're to believe that she was wearing that like jungle safari relaxed outfit when she got there, and then leather dress later,
jungle safari relaxed outfit.
Wow.
Also, his outfit changed too when he when he finds the vest from his dad. Kraven, you will be the strongest there is.
Made me so mad.
And the way he sat in the chair, looking at his bulge.
Hang on though. At the beginning of the movie, he's upset that the lion's dead, and then you're just he's
just gonna wear it later.
He's revering this vest made of the animal he got mad at his dad for killing, and then he's like, I'm gonna sit in it. And
the equivalent is I don't eat meat, but I wear all leather. Like that is
it's just so you can just tell they were done. They didn't care.
They were like, fuck it, make him do the comic book one and just like make it do the comic book pose and be done with it.
Honestly, that was probably what the discount parliament did. They're like, wait, he doesn't have the vest. Yes,
do we have enough comic poses?
Make him look at his dick in the chair. Because the way he slumped down in the chair to like kind of look at it, I was like, what the fuck? What is going on?
They wanted that comic cover. That's what they wanted. They wanted that one cover with Kraven and the throne.
It was so
absolutely
forced. So forced.
It was probably in discount Parliament, and they're like, "Okay, we got the chameleon." And
this discount Parliament is sending me.
I want this comic book cover in the movie. We already filmed it. It's done. It's in the
we're
can.
done. Like, this is finished. Now reshoots. Do research. We gotta have that one.
We got him contracted. Get him in.
Also, they really were like, "Hey, how would a cat thank you for saving its life? It would kill a pigeon and leave it on your doorstep. Let's have him do the same thing, but make it mafia guys." Like, do you understand how insane it is to be like, "Hey, I love you, so I killed that guy."
Oh, they did do that
for you.
I didn't realize that. That is what they did. Okay.
They did a bump and they went, just make him do cat shit. Like, that's basically what they did.
Honestly, after Morbius, Madam Web, and this, I believe it.
Yeah, 100%.
I believe it 100%.
Make him do cat shit.
Make him do cat shit. This is a great time for us to pivot over into the rise and fall. Great point, Mace. Great point. To pivot over into, like, this is the death of the Sony verse.
Roman said, imagine instead of the foreigner, they just referred to him as Chris the whole time. Why does I got Chris keep counting to 3? 1, 2.
So there are a sinister 6 of these, borrowing Marcus's language. Would you all care to guess which one of these 6 is the highest grossing of all of them?
So just as a quick recap for folks, we got Venom. Venom, Let There Be Carnage, Venom, The Last Dance, Morbius, Madam Web, and Kraven. That's the Sonyverse.
And I will. Here's the spoiler alert. I will give you 6. Kraven did the worst.
Yeah.
Okay. Kraven, so you want to know which one did the best?
Let's fill out 1 through 5. Which one do you think was the best?
Starting at 5 or going 1 from the top?
Start number 1. Which one do you think grossed the most of these?
I think Venom. I mean, easily. I think the first Venom movie.
I'm gonna say the second Venom movie.
I'm
gonna price this right you.
Brian is technically correct, but not by much.
Couldn't have done it without you, Marcus.
That's right. Hey,
Venom grossed $213,515,000. Venom 2 grossed $213,550,000.
Oh wow! Really?
So the difference between the two of them is around $35,000.
That's closer than I thought.
That's actually close as hell.
So Venom 2, then Venom. How do you think the rest of these shake out?
What's the remaining movies? I'm sorry.
Venom, Last Dance, Morbius, and Madam Web.
I think that Morbius might have made more than Venom, but I think Morbius will be next.
I don't know. I feel like Venom, and we'll get
Venom
to this.
3.
I feel like Venom 3 still made more than the other 3
it's
movies.
Venom 3.
Though.
Yeah, because it was the last one.
Yeah.
You are correct. It did. Yeah. Venom 3 comes in third at $139 million. Now, Morbius or Madam Web?
Morbius.
Correct.
Okay.
Morbius is $73 million. To put it in perspective, if you add what Morbius and Madam Web made, Venom 3 still made more.
Damn.
So, because that would put you at 112. No, $126 million. So it still has some time to go.
And Kraven made the worst.
Yes.
I remember it opened to 30. It opened to 30, and I was like, if this universe isn't dead, I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
Madam Web's also at a disadvantage because it's a woman-led film.
Mm-hmm.
I'd hate to think that, but that probably didn't.
Based on statistics, people don't show up to the box office opening weekend if it's a female lead or
Yep. Unfortunately, that is the case. Brian, to your point, there's no way that this continued. I mean, we can see the exponential decline of the Sonyverse. I mean, I don't think of a better bell curve than 213, 139, 73, 43, 25. Like, I don't see like a better decline.
And that's with an established character, right? So like Venom is established. He got 3 movies out of that motherfucker. He's supposed to do that.
I will never understand why Sony did not lock Tom Hardy down and like lock him in a room and be like, you're it. You're going to be in all of these movies, even if it's a cameo, and you're going to make it work because you're the cash cow. Because people liked him as Venom. He actually was he was almost a good anti-hero. And that's what Sony kept doing. They're like, oh, we're going to be like the anti-hero Marvel universe. But they kept making their characters redeemable. So like, it would be like, I'm edgy. And then Kraven's like, I don't hurt animals. So I hope that's okay.
And I don't hurt innocent people. I just hurt bad guys.
Right.
And that is the equivalent of Tom Hardy telling Venom, you may only eat bad guys.
Yeah.
It's true.
That dialogue is identical.
And Morbius,
oh my gosh, it is.
Yeah, it is.
The dialogue is identical.
It is.
There it is.
And Morbius only drinks Capri Sun pouches. He doesn't actually.
That's right.
Yeah, he's got a whole Camelback situation filled with, I don't know, blood. I don't know.
I mean, like synthetic blood, right? Wasn't that his whole thing?
I almost said orphan blood, but that's mean. So like, yeah, I think it's synthetic blood.
Lordy. Wasn't expecting that sentence.
Yeah,
that was not. Oh my god,
that's not the plot. He doesn't drink orphan blood because he was an orphan. That would be weird.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. That's
what a turn of events and a fuck you, right? Like,
you know what? I really hate this, so I'm gonna eat all of you.
Being an orphan made me strong. Now all you were gonna make me strong.
Yeah,
it's
this
Morbin time.
So I'm gonna suck your blood. Like it's Morbin time.
Yeah. Because then he's like, I don't hurt people. I drink synthetic blood. Madam Web,
she was in a wheelchair at the top in a penthouse.
Yeah, in an apartment full of stairs
with CW lighting. Oh,
and three girls that now live with her?
Of Prey? Yeah.
Okay, so it's like that, but like
question mark?
Question mark?
Oh my gosh.
Roman had a question that I thought would be interesting. If the Spider-Verse was to add another animal-based villain to the mix, what animal would you want it to be?
Oh man.
Okay,
it would have to be Scorpion.
Oh, I was gonna say, hear me out. It's Dr. Octopus, but
oh no,
he gets attacked by an octopus and his arms are ripped off, and so he has to give the metal arms put on his body, and he vows that he's not gonna fight innocent people. He's gonna go after the people that have destroyed the world's oceans.
That's exactly how they would frame it.
That's what Sony would do.
That's
100%.
He gets thrown. He's an oceanographer or like a marine biologist who gets thrown into a vat of octopuses who like paralyze him from the waist down, and so he uses technology to give himself the arms, and then he's like, I'm gonna get the people who are destroying the world's oceans. So it's like Aquaman, but Dr. Octopus at the same time.
And then the mandatory woman of color supporting actress would be like, you can't be like this.
Except for it's like a Jamaican lady.
Good.
Did they do that in every movie too? Because there's a secondary woman of color in Morbius, and there is one in Madam Web, and there's one in this movie.
I think there's one in every one except original Venom, maybe.
Venom 2, then again, the secondary villain is a woman of color.
True.
Who's the secondary villain?
Wasn't it
Scream?
Riot?
No. Riot was the first one, and then it was Carnage, and then Carnage.
Oh my gosh, it was Lasher. Holy buckets!
Lasher.
Right.
Oh, it
the
was
doctor
Lasher.
Is a woman of color, turns into Lasher, and is like, "We can do this, Eddie. We can stop the bad stuff." Oh my gosh, 4 out of
random
6.
as hell. Yeah, the Christmas.
4 out of the 6.
So for the Dr. Octopus movie, it would be a woman from Jamaica that's like,
no,
Bumbleclot.
Wagwan!
That is what Sony would do.
Wagwan, Dr. Octopus.
Dr. Octopus. We got to go and stop the people from destroying the oceans now.
And then Sony
under the sea.
And then the actress would be like, I trained at Juilliard. And they'd be like, we don't care.
No. More talking like Sebastian the Crab for all of us.
Man, we should make our own.
Tell you now, you gonna get it when the doctor shows up.
And it would be like some obscure but really cool Marvel character, and they'd be like, "Yeah, she doesn't do any of that.
It doesn't do any of that.
It doesn't do anything like that."
Actually, that's very inaccurate.
Friends call me Gwen Stacy. No.
No, you don't understand. You don't understand. They would refer to Gwen Stacy in this movie as the person that like delivered their coffee or something.
Right.
Like, oh, I talked to Gwen to get this molecular transplant.
I have to send I have to send all my research back to New York. Some woman named Gwen Stacy's looking at it.
Yes, that would be the exact name drop.
I thought she was about to say, I got to send my urine back to the doctor. You know, Dr. Stacy. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's also an ex-con.
Oh no!
There's too much going on in this movie.
No. Oh no!
Yeah,
I mean, Scorpion also works, but you would have to be like, again, if we're gonna put this on the nose.
He said one that isn't already in Marvel. Like a brand new one.
Oh,
I was gonna say a guy who likes to eat garbage, but he was just the Vulture. He's just the guy who dumpster dives and just likes to eat trash.
It's just Michael.
Call me the raccoon.
1, 2, 3.
Man.
I don't. In the Spider-Verse, I feel like what is the antithesis to a spider?
I mean,
a tarantula guy.
Tarantula. Don't owls eat spiders too? I want to say,
so. Yeah.
But technically, Owlman is a character.
The DC
tarantula in the rainforest called the bird-eating spider, and it's huge.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's mostly like lizards and shit that they have to look out for.
Yeah, centipedes. Scorpions.
Possum.
Oh, a possum would be
Possum's
garbage.
Possum's the trash character.
It's just Spider-Man. It's just Spider-Man poking him all the time. Get up.
Can you do something?
What a boring fight that would be. I'm gonna stop you, Possum. Heads to die.
Oh, I had all these one-liners ready.
Get up.
Silly.
I don't know. The Sonyverse to me is so clearly just like they caught lightning in a bottle with Venom, and they squandered everything good about it except for like kind of the other Venom movies. And you can make a Spider-Man-less Spider-Man movie universe.
I agree,
but you can't do it in a way that there's no themes and there's no interconnectedness when you're just throwing stuff at the wall. We'll never know what exactly happened to the Vulture in Morbius.
Yeah,
and is like if Marvel ever wants to use that character, they probably won't. But like they're probably gonna have to hand wave that stuff because Sony made a mess. They took that character.
Yep.
And they
took advantage of the multiverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it never made sense. It was just so clearly a cash grab the whole time to me.
And Brian's right. Venom could have been the Spider-Man, right? There's nothing to say that the government or somebody calls in a team to go capture the fucking symbiote or Area 51, put together all of the Sinister Six and said, here's this guy, Scorpion, a previous soldier. You're going to work with him to go capture the Venom symbiote and bring him back to us.
100%.
Like, I think people would have watched that. I would have watched that. It's close enough.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And if they actually made them anti-heroes, like that would have been compelling because like, and to be clear, when I think of an anti-hero, I'm going to use the most popular one I feel like from TV. It's like Breaking Bad's Walter White. He is the protagonist, but he's not like necessarily making good choices or heroic choices. Yeah. Like he's making choices for himself, but he's not making it better for everyone around him.
Doing the right thing, but motivated for the wrong reason.
I mean, even doing the wrong thing, right? Too, like in that sense, like if you were actually going to make Venom an anti-hero, he would kill innocent people. And you would have to find a way to like make people okay with it. And that's the thing Sony did. They never actually committed to these characters. Even Madam Web, like they never actually committed to those characters. They just wanted you to get excited of what it could be, and then it never got there.
Yeah, and I guess maybe that doesn't sell well for a toy. Maybe you don't get kids that want to buy the Venom toy if he's the bad guy or the villain.
Yeah,
so I get why you do that.
Buy it if he kills innocent people.
Exactly. Right. Oh, I'll buy a Kraven toy because he's not the villain. That's just the guy who loves animals really good, I guess.
Well, and that's the thing. They could have committed to this in a big way of like strip out half this movie with all the family stuff and actually make Kraven like this radical conservationist. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I would watch that because I feel like that is timely and relatable to people. And I would like to see that character. But instead it was like, oh, my dad's mean. okay, I'm gonna go to my brother's birthday party. Like
I gotta go
that's the movie.
Guys, my dad's mean.
I gotta go see my brother. I gotta flick him in the ear so he knows I love him.
Yeah.
Also, do you understand that the motivation for Rhino was like, I'm gonna get all the business because I'm gonna steal these two people?
Yeah. They
don't actually do the business, but
yeah. Whatever the business is supposed to be.
Whatever they do.
Neither one of them actually do or hands-on with the business, but I'm gonna take them because then that's how I get the business.
I meant to kidnap the other one. Oh,
Step one.
You know,
Steal
Rhino.
children. Step
Interesting.
two. Step 3. Business.
Also, I hated the fucking Rhino as a character because I was trying to understand his sickness besides the fact that his skin got hard and he plugs himself into his damn cow pack. So like, I'm very confused on
I don't even remember.
Okay, so he underwent a procedure with the jackal, whatever they call him in this, and he was like, I wanted to get stronger. And he's like, this is a side effect.
Brian, this is a great Rhino.
I tried so hard.
You did so good.
I've been working on that for an hour 30. So.
I'm so proud of you.
So that's why he has the weird skin. And I feel like we get more backstory for him than like some other characters in this film that don't have as much consequence. Also, something I noticed, there's been a Rhino in exactly 2 Sony films, and both times the Rhino shows up, it ends the franchise. That particular franchise storyline.
He's bad luck. Don't touch him.
It's weird. It's really weird.
That is true.
I'm not saying it means anything. I'm just saying it's weird. It's happened twice.
It feels like it's all or nothing. That's an all or nothing character because we don't know how to nail a Rhino. Nail a Rhino. We don't know how to like get Rhino as a character, right? So let's just
words
say,
are hard.
Throw it at the wall. Yeah. Don't.
I hunt.
That's illegal.
People.
Yeah.
People.
Oh my god.
Director's looking at the dailies like, oh, it's so good. So good.
The Rhino also did.
Can we make the pause longer? Sir, this is a dialogue. What do you want him to wait? 5 minutes? Yeah, fuck it. Do it with 5 minutes. See what happens. Actually, have it be I hunt. They all move, and then he picks up the phone and calls and goes, people, and then hangs up.
Marcus, what do you want to phone in? Sorry, what were you trying to finish?
Oh, I just think that the Rhino was doing weird shit. That was it. He would just say, he would do whatever that little scream he was supposed to be doing. And then he had like different little fidgets. And I was like, is he on the spectrum? Like, is that what you're trying to tell me? Like, is this important to the story?
Yes,
like
his mannerisms are insane.
They're clearly supposed to mean something. Yes. I just can't tell you what the fuck it's supposed to mean. So that was it.
I mean, look, we've talked about Madam Web to death. We did a whole pod on it. I think I suffered mental damage from it. But like, it's the same thing with that villain too. The villains are doing things that have no nonsensical things, just straight up nonsensical things. Because honestly, the Rhino little bit reminded me of the moment when the businessman Spider-Man like stalked them on the plane on the train platform, and he's like, anyway, I'm just gonna try to kill you in broad daylight. And it was like, what is happening? Why is he doing this right now? There's no better way to do this. Nope. Same thing with Rhino. He's just taking kids because he can, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. My empire. We have to stop them from taking my empire.
I worked so hard for that empire.
Also another nondescript accent. And we also talked about Morbius a ton on our pod back, but for some reason when I'm thinking about it in the context of the Sonyverse, it's like maybe Morbius, at least, I don't know. It at least felt like a movie. Like I feel so mean, but it's
have
true.
A black assistant?
She was a
woman of she was a woman of color.
Sorry.
She was a Latina woman of color who was helping him and was like, no, you can't be a vampire. And he's like, it's
too late. I already am.
I gotta go morb.
Where's my juice box? Coming in 2020, coming in 2026, Dr. Octopus, Tales from the Deep.
When we went to the theater and we saw we saw that scene of his brother dance in front of the mirror for like a solid, it felt like 30 seconds.
Yes.
Matt Smith is a great actor, and I just saw him dance, and I was like, I'm happy he looks like he's having joy. I don't know what this adds to the movie, but
a memeable moment, and that's sometimes
if it will.
If it will. Gentlemen, anything else that you want to say about the Sonyverse, or anything else you want to say about I almost said about Morbius, about Kraven the Hunter?
No.
I hope this remains a lesson to everybody who wants to make a cinematic universe. Like,
what's the lesson, Brian?
Honestly, if you're gonna do it, don't like cheap out on it and be the discount parliament. Like, do it right and have a plan and put your most popular character in other stuff. Like, there's a reason the Sony movies CEO guy is leaving. Like,
yeah,
he's gone now. I'm pretty sure, or he's leaving this year. Like, that tanked his career, and all for what? Y'all were trying to get cash grabs with nothing to show for it, and just pulling characters out of a hat when Spider-Man has like 60 years of characters you could have built off of, but you just picked the most buzzworthy ones. Like, it didn't have to be this way, but it was.
Here's the last thing I'll say. Look, Sony president, you have the chance to do something so funny right before you leave, and that is make a Dr. Octopus movie where he gets attacked by octopi, and is friends with a Jamaican woman.
That's enough. That's enough. I'm just surprised that they were ballsy enough to use the same fucking template for having some type of woman. And the only reason Venom doesn't have the same shit is because he's in the movie by himself. He's already got two leads.
Mrs. Chen is basically Mrs. Chen is basically the woman of color, is she not?
I mean,
I would extent
she is.
To the same extent that the rest are, but you could argue it. I do think I see the formula there.
Yeah,
it would make sense why in Venom 3 they had Slasher, whatever her name was. They made her they tried to put her in the spotlight, but she wasn't in the spotlight. They had the very significant moments with her grabbing the Jordans, having the Christmas tree as a pin.
Oh yeah,
like, all of these things that didn't really mean anything at the I don't know. It's weird as fuck.
She was like, I'm the green symbiote. What's
I'm
up?
the green one. Cool.
I'm green.
I'm green. Yes, I am black. What's next?
What's up? Yep. Let's see if you can get a cab.
Yeah. No.
Anyway.
All right.
Anyway, it's 90-minute monster territory, folks, which means we're going to wrap this up. So, gentlemen, anything else that you all would like to plug or talk about as we span things out? Brian.
Hey, folks, we already mentioned it. Check out thelovenerds.com. You can check out the beginning of the episode for more information.
Ooh, short and sweet, Brian.
Oh,
Marcus,
okay.
What do you got?
Damn, that was so fast. I wasn't ready. Follow the mantra, never offended, always humble. You dig? NOAH for short. Go listen to some Soul Tide. Go listen to some Marcus J. Destiny music is on the way, baby.
Absolutely. Hey, I want to plug this podcast. If you enjoyed our conversation about Kraven the Hunter, as well as any of the other conversations we've had over the 6 seasons of this pod, recommend us to a friend or a family member. Best way for us to get listeners and other people to check us out. If you're feeling generous, head over to patreon.com/filmsinblackandwhite. Sign up for a Patreon there. Help us pick the movies that we watch and we review. Help be a producer behind the scenes. Gentlemen, we have a 3-step process to success. Brian, lay on me that first step, my man.
Hey, folks, I'm here to tell you to read a book. Specifically, like, go read Kraven: The Last Hunt. That's a really good Kraven story.
Great book.
We talked about one that isn't good, so go read Kraven: The Last Hunt. It's pretty good. Go read a book.
Very good. Very good. Step 2. Drink some water. Look, y'all, we're getting into springtime. You're going to start to be outdoors more. Don't think that just because the dryness of winter's ended that you can stop drinking water. You need to stay hydrated. Make sure you drink some water. Treat yourself to the nice water. So, yeah, there you go.
And make sure you go wash your ass. You know what I mean? That's not a request, that's a demand. Go ahead, wash your ass, get right into it, change out your towels, get yourself some new soap. You know what I mean? Just like Doug said, you got to stay refreshed, but the best way to stay clean is by washing your ass.
Absolutely. Hey, we'll be back next week with another fantastic episode of Films Black and White. Roman's recommending that we come with our favorite movie comic memorabilia, maybe our most valuable memorabilia. It'll be a memorabilia episode.
Yeah, I can figure it out.
Why not?
So tune in for that. That'll be fun to chat about. But in the meantime and the between time, stay safe, stay healthy. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We will catch y'all next week.
You already know what it is, baby. Have a good week. We love you.
Love you. Make good choices.
I like to see that.
Call us when you get home.
Call us text somebody. Let them know you made it.
Oh, man, if it was Kraven's dad, it'd be like, you go out. No hug for you. You need to
that motherfucker was scary though, low key.
Why didn't you take the shot as you are recovering from death in a hospital bed? Is hilarious
up
to me.
And down, and the black woman doctor was like, "Hey, listen, no, he needs to stay there."
No, hold on. This kid is almost dead. Like, he is coming with me. Why didn't you take shots? You come with me.
Literally hanging on by a fucking thread out of a lion's fucking tooth.